Hey everyone, and today we're going to talk about what is this Clubhouse thing all about? Should you be on this app? So it's this brand new app that is audio only. So stick around and we're going to go over it today. Welcome to Entrepreneur's Toolbox. My name is Jonathan, and I'm here to help you find the tools to build income online. So today we're going to go over what Clubhouse is and really how you could use it for your business or personal or however you really want to use this. It's a very versatile app. So I'm just going to dive right into it. So when you create your Clubhouse profile, one thing to mention is, before I get into this actually, is that currently at this moment, it is an iOS only app. They're saying that they're going to be adding more than just iOS. So it's not just going to be iOS for much longer, but you never know. It is in pre-beta, so the timeline is kind of like all over the place. So we'll see when that happens, but that might be not relevant by the time that you watch this video. But so when you open up the app, the first thing that it's going to do after you create your username and just create your account, it's going to ask you for interests. You're going to need to figure out, what interests you have, and then the app will actually do this. It will, once you pick your interests, it's going to give you this thing called the hallway. Now the hall, everything in this app is kind of like They try to make it like a club because it's called Clubhouse. So might as well make everything sound like a club. So there's the hallway, like a hallway in a club. So you're given different rooms in this hallway based off of your interests. And initially it's just your interests. And then as you go into these clubs or these rooms that are in these clubs, and you start getting value from people, then you could start following these people, and then you're going to start getting recommendations in your hallway and through notifications based off of people that you're following as well. So that it will start to craft a very, very well-tuned hallway filled with people that that you got value from and things that are that you will find interesting. So that's the reason why you want to fill out your interests and then start following people that you actually get value out of. Like, I only follow people that I actually want to hear from. I don't just follow people hoping, like, follow for follow. I would not. Why would you want to follow people that you're not going to get any value from? Because then your hallway is going to get all messed up, and it's going to mess up whatever algorithm it's trying to figure out to find out what is the right thing to put in front of you. Because we're about getting value right now, right? So the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to be able to go into those rooms. When you click on one of these things in the hall, any of these, it will take you into a room. A room looks like this. It's pretty simple. If you scroll down, actually, it will show you that there's also an audience area below. So, but this part right here, let me make it big again so you can see. There's the moderators. They're at the top. That they have these little tiny green, I guess, beans is what they're calling them, green beans, and those just mean that people have, the power to bring people up on stage and also the power to mute people. And it also gives them a sense of authority in that group or in the room. And then if anybody else is up on stage, they just get put down here. And then right below it, there's followed by the moderators or people on stage. And then below that's just people that just came into the audience. So we have all those different ones. See? And so if you want to come up on stage, if you're in the audience, all you need to do is click on this little hand here. So you're in the audience and you raise the hand. You could probably see it right here. It's this little tiny hand at the bottom. You just click that and it will raise your hand, and then somebody that's one of the moderators can bring you up on stage and allow you to speak and add to the conversation. So, all right, and then so it's like, that's what I said. Tap your hand to tap the hand to raise your hand, and then they can bring you up on stage to talk. And that's how you actually can grow on Clubhouse, talking on these stages, talking to people, and basically starting the conversation. You don't have to be the one that starts the conversation, but you could add to the conversation. And that actually leads me to my next point. It's like we all need to try different things, right? Like you ask why is everything, why would I want to bring a whole new social network into my life? There's already so many: Facebook, Instagram, all these different things. And what I have to say about that is, like, all life is experiments. The more experiments you make, the better. And you know, we're not going to win all of them. We're not going to win all these experiments. There's going to be so many that are going to fail. But I truly feel like this particular experiment is worth trying, especially since it's an early stage, because this is, to me, I feel like this is Instagram before Instagram got saturated. So we could all sit on the sidelines and just wait. I mean, there's always the chance that this could not work, or some like Instagram or Facebook could come up and rip it off, and theirs could be more successful than this one. But you know what? We have to be in the front lines trying these new things. Otherwise, you know, we're going to look back a few years from now and go like, man, I really wish that I put in the effort to grow on this platform. But again, don't let it be a distraction, but you should still put in this effort. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is you could start your own rooms. So you don't need to, like I said, you don't need to necessarily go into everybody else's rooms, but you could start the rooms, start the conversation. And it's pretty simple to do that. So at the bottom, you just click the little start room button at the bottom of your hallway. And when that, bring up a little pop-up box like this, and the pop-up box has a couple options. One is, you know, you could start an open room. And an open room is basically when anybody can come into the room. So I start the room, anybody on Clubhouse, typically anybody that's that's following me will see it, or if somebody else comes into the room and somebody's following them, they could then come into the room or find the room very easily. So that's pretty simple. Then there's social rooms, and social rooms would basically mean that it's only people that are following me, or people that are following people are in the club. So it can't be any like third part down. It has to be people that are following the mods. From what I understand about that one. And then the other one is a closed room. And what that would mean is, like, say I wanted to talk to you just privately, I could open a closed room. Maybe it could just be 2 people or as many people as I want. I think that there's a 5,000 limit currently on a room, but I could have anybody in that room that I want, but I have to invite them in. And then another one is just a club room. And as you can see, this is one right here that's that you can see that's YouTube Empire. That is one of the clubs that I'm one of the co-creators on. And there's a couple other clubs that are good here that I do rooms through. But I could just start a club, and then there's different settings depending on who runs the club. That if you want to be the YouTube Empire club is one that I do, and I allow other people to come, to run rooms out of my room, and so do these ones that are right here. But some people, they only allow the creator of the club to run rooms. So it just depends on what the club is, or if you want control over a club, you just start your own. So once you are doing that, the next thing you do is you want to pick a moderator or co-moderators. It will suggest people that you've used in the past, or that have been on stage with you in the past, like Professor Nez. I've spoken with him on stage several times, so it's recommending that he's somebody that maybe I might want to co-moderate with. So just pick and choose, So yeah, like I said, you could pick other Clubhouse app users, and this is another thing that to co-moderate rooms, but they must be following you. You can't just like pick some random, influencer that you're following and assume that they're going to be able to just ping them in and get them to be a moderator. They need to be following you before you could actually do anything with that. So just make sure that they're following you. And then next thing is you could also schedule a room. You could schedule rooms either in clubs or not. 1 second. Thank you, IDK. Appreciate it. Like, 1 second, sorry. So yeah, you can. Let me start over 1 second. You could schedule a room. So when you schedule a room in Clubhouse, it's really simple. Top right corner of the screen, there's this little tiny plus. Just click that plus, and it will bring up a window that looks like this. And that window, you can give it a name to the room. If you want to bring on co-moderators, as I mentioned before, if you bring on co-moderators, you need to make sure that they are following you. And then if you add them into a club, you could put the time and date. You add them into a club, and also if you have co-moderators and it's a locked club, they also need to be members of the club. Give it a description, and it's that simple. Now, this is actually one of the things that I've noticed so many people, are not noticing. They're not seeing. They're not doing this, and they need to fill out their bio, because you could waste time and you could just like, hey, I'm this person, this person, this person. But if your bio is not filled out, I'm not going to waste time going down your funnel of clicking on doing research on who you are. I want to be able to click on this and see, especially in these first couple lines. And that's one thing the first 3 lines are the most important lines. And there's 2 reasons that I know of that these are the most important lines. And one reason is because it's above the fold. Like I mentioned, it's above the fold. And what that means is if this gets minimized, these first 3 lines show up. So what do you want to be known for? When somebody clicks on your bio, what do you want them to instantly know about you? And then the other thing is that the first 3 lines, from what they've told us about Clubhouse, is that they're far more searchable. They're heavily weighed in your searching. So just tell them who you are. Be honest. This is something that you could fine tune and fix along the way. So just let people know who you are, and this is your chance just to say whatever you want. Another thing is adding in your links. That is a huge thing that I've noticed that people don't use. So Clubhouse is a fully audio only social network, audio only. So if you want to connect with somebody, unfortunately, I guess, is that you have to go through one of the 2 different channels that they let you to link. So personally, I use Instagram, but you could use Instagram and Twitter. So I link Instagram, and then if somebody wants to message me, I say, hey, reach out to me in my DMs on Instagram. And one of the other benefits of that is you will start to also get followers on whichever platform you have connected. So you're going to give people a way to connect with you, and that that's text based. And that could lead you to whatever kind of relationships. I met somebody that I work with all the time on TikTok. You never know when you're going to meet somebody that's going to, bring a lot of value. So another thing is like, it's going to fill your funnel. So you could do things like on Instagram, I have a link that goes into my funnel of, when I'm talking about a funnel, I'm not talking about some like software. Don't get confused. I mean, you could use a software to build like a marketing funnel, absolutely. But when I'm talking about a funnel, I am just talking about the idea of an actual funnel. You'll meet people on Clubhouse, you'll send them down, they'll click on whatever link. It could be just a lead magnet, a freemium of some kind, or maybe they're just, maybe you're growing a YouTube channel and you want to like say, hey guys, check out my YouTube channel. The link is in my Instagram bio. Then you could potentially be talking to people on Clubhouse and growing your YouTube channel at the same time by delivering value in both places. So do not overlook adding your social networks at the bottom. I don't personally really use Twitter, so I just put Instagram on mine, and that gives people a way to contact me. So let's see, yep, 1 second, sorry. There we go. All right, so I hope that you got a lot of value out of that. And 1 second. And again, I wanted to remind you that there is a club that we run. It is the YouTube Empire Club. I'm going to throw a link to that in the description. If you want to join the club, you're welcome to join the club. We host rooms in there all the time, as well as in other clubs on Clubhouse. And yeah, and if you got value out of this, check out one of these videos next. Don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell, and I will see you in the next one.